Remember, voting for the Fantasy Football Fix Awards is still open and will be open up until 11:30 Saturday morning. So if you want to vote, click on the link in the description or in the comments section and make your voice heard. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Fix. I am Richard from the DipsyDudes, and by God, we had some huge scores last week. Absolutely unbelievable stuff, and there's going to be managers out there who went big last week that are looking to do the same again in this, the penultimate game week of the season, which is also a double game week. We'll be getting to that one very, very shortly, but first, let's have a look at the dream team for game week 36.
Do it, you're doing it well.
It's 3-5-2 again, and there's some huge scores here. Let's start with the big, sexy point scorer of the week with Sergio Aguero, proving that sometimes the obvious choice is the obvious choice for a reason, with a massive 23-point game week with a hat-trick, assist and max bonus points. Alongside him, do my eyes deceive me? A wild Danny Graham approaches. Having scored 16 points all season, he managed a goal-scoring, man of the match 9-point display. Just in time for the double game week, maybe. In midfield, the big scores continued. First up, the Leicester form continues, with Mahrez getting his third double game week of the season with a brace, clean sheet and max bonus points. Meanwhile, David Silva got his 16 points with a goal, clean sheet and deuce, bonus points and assists. Steven Nzonzi got his biggest score since December 2nd with a goal-scoring, clean sheet, man of the match performance for 11 points. The same as this week's random Manchester United Dream Team player, Ashley Young, who got his 11 from deuce assists and trip bonuses. Finally, Steven Gerrard slipped into the Dream Team by scoring a goal and max bonus points. In defence, the Man City influence continued with Kolarov grabbing a goal, clean sheet and a bonus for 16 points. Akora being man of the match for Villa with a clean sheet, John Terry getting on the score sheet with a bonus, and finally, Lucas Fabianski had the game of a lifetime, breaking the hearts of managers with Arsenal attackers in their team with a clean sheet, 6 points and an amazing 6 save points for a 12-point haul. A lot of big, juicy point scorers last week, and as managers prepare for this final push for the title, who's going to be the big goal scorers for this week? Well, let's take a look at the Game Week 37 players for your consideration. Despite letting everyone down on Monday night, chances are most managers are going to be backing Alexis Sanchez as captain for a big display in the double game week. He's currently on a 1-on, 2-off goal scoring form, but that 1-on game seems to be slap bang on the head of the Sunderland game, so that's something to look for there. I think we've talked enough about Arsenal by now, and to be honest, you should have your 3 Arsenal players set in your team before going into this game week. You're probably looking at Giroud up front, despite not scoring in his last 4 games. There's Sanchez, as we've mentioned. Then it's between, Ramsey, Cazorla and Ozil in midfield. Again, Ozil hasn't scored in his last 4 games, like Giroud. Cazorla hasn't grabbed a goal since game week 26 and has managed 3 assists in his last 7 games. That's about his most positive contribution. While Ramsey has grabbed 3 double-digit game weeks in the last 7 games. Make of that what you will. As for their opponent, Sunderland, this is a question we've been asking ourselves for weeks. Who is there to go for? Let's start with the attackers first. We've got the dazzling Jermaine Defoe, we've got Connor High Wycombe, and we've got superstar Danny Graham. In the last 2 weeks, Graham has managed to more than double his season score from 13 to 27 points. Unbelievable stuff! A goal, an assist and 3 bonus points in his last 2 weeks. He's priced at around 4.7 million and he is currently the cheapest and most in-form attacking option that the Black Cats have got. Mind you, Jermaine Defoe also grabbed a goal and an assist in his last 2 game weeks as well. His goal last week, his first since the Derby winner against Newcastle a couple of weeks back, and he's yours for a cool 5 million. Finally, Connor Wickham has followed up his 2 goal-scoring weeks in game week 32 and game week 34 by scoring nothing in the following 2 game weeks. He's the dearest attacking option out of the 3 at over $5.5 million. So, who out of the 3 to go for? You decide. In the midfield, Gomez has scored 20 points in 2 weeks and continued his streak with an assist last week, and he is the only midfielder for Sunderland getting any points. So for just over $5 million, he is worth a shout for you. Now we get to the defenders, or should I say defender. Patrick Van Aanholt, PVA. This is the week that the Patrick Van Aanholt maniacs have been waiting for. A clean sheet 7-point display last week against Everton, and he is dirt cheap. I mean, literally, he is the price of dirt. And like I said before, for that price, you might as well, I guess. And that price being just over $4 million. And I mean, just over $4 million. Another popular Sunderland choice right now is in goal with Penultimate, who grabbed his 9th clean sheet of the season last week and has managed to average 4 points a week over his last 5 games, which is pretty impressive. He's also managed to grab save points in 2 out of 5 of those weeks. But is he the best keeper option from now until the end of the season to cover you for the next 2 game weeks? Even with the double game week, it's debatable. Why? Let's have a look at some of the options, because one of the most informed teams has one of the most informed keepers, with Kasper Schmeichel finally establishing himself as a Premier League player, having got 35 points in his last 5 weeks. 4 clean sheets in those 5 game weeks, might I add. The only blip being the home game against Chelsea. The son of Peter has 2 favourable fixtures coming up. Firstly, going up against their relegation rivals in double game week as Sunderland, and then finishing their season to relegated QPR at home. And conceivably, keep this under your hats, they could have the kind of last game of the season against QPR that Middlesbrough had against Man City in 2008. Now that's pre-money Man City as well. That day it was 8-1 to Middlesbrough. So maybe worth keeping an eye out for that one. Kasper will cost you $4.5 million, and he has proven that he is worth your time and worth your effort. The other keeping choice can be found at another bottom half of the table club who are currently in form, Aston Villa, where Shay Given has returned and got his first clean sheet of the season last week. Villa travelled to an out-of-form Southampton, who are trying desperately not to qualify for the Europa League, it seems, and then Villa finished their season at home to Burnley. 2 games that Villa need to keep winning to ensure their safety, and I can see clean sheets happening. Shay will cost you $4 million, and if you want to double down on the Villa defence, then you can get a Cora for $0.2 million more, or you can get Ron Vlaar for $0.3 million more. The truly mind-boggling thing about Villa right now is that their most informed player, no, it ain't Christian Benteke, it's only bloody Tom Cleverley of all people. He's had 3 goals and 27 points in his last 3 games. Villa are attacking a lot better and they're keeping clean sheets, and with those 2 games I mentioned, for $5.2 million, well, for Tom Cleverley, why not, I guess? Why not? Finally, is it written in the stars for one particular player to score this week? And will you get caught up in that fairy tale? Steven Gerrard plays his last game at Anfield, and surely it's written in the stars for him to score in front of the Kop. I bet you any money, that Liverpool will be awarded a penalty in front of the Kop with 10 minutes to go if he hasn't scored by then. He's scored 2 in 2 and he's $8.5 million if you want to go for the nostalgic pick. The DipsyDudes Divisional Championship. There are some big sexy scores to be found in the league this week, with the Herbie rule being obliterated. At the top, Latchford again had their lead cut short, but still take a 45-point lead into the last 2 weeks of the season. So if Internet Cafe Thistle want to make a move, they need a big week this week. Much like 3 managers in the league who managed to get a century. Firstly, it's our third place team and mainstayer, Flanagan A.F.C, who of course had Aguero as captain, along with Silva and a strong defensive showing. Next, with a Dalmatian, it's 50 Shades O'Shea, who can thank Man City as they went for each of their dream team players from the week. And finally, with the highest score of the week, with 103 points, it's only bloody Jeebus FC again, who again can thank Aguero and Silva, as well as some huge points from the defence, making it 184 points in 2 weeks. Remember, voting in the Fantasy Football Fix Awards closes at 11:30 this Saturday, so check out the link in the description to vote now. The winners will be announced in next week's awards show spectacular, so make your voice heard and vote now. Like, right now. I mean, seriously, I will wait. If you want to, bring full screen down or tilt your phone vertically so you've got it all there, go down to the description or the comments. It'll tell you where the link is. There it is. Click on that. There we are. Takes you straight to the voting page, and all it will take you is 6 clicks to make your vote count. So, whilst you're doing that, let me tell you about the fact that we've put together the Fantasy Football Fix official soundtrack on a playlist on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to find it on our channel here. Basically, we put together all the music that we've ever used on the show, all of the different bedding music and all of the themes, all into one super big playlist. So, if you love rap, hip-hop, R&B and a couple of other random shouts in between them, then you'll love this summer anthem playlist. It's the Fantasy Football Fix official soundtrack playlist. Have a look at it now. Right, plugging that should have given you enough time to vote, and if you have, thank you very much. Right, that's about it for this game week. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you like what you see, click like, leave us a comment, or hit subscribe to ensure that you get the latest DipsyDudes episodes as soon as they are released. Remember, we have a social media presence on Twitter and Facebook, as well as a discussion group at fiso.co.uk. Links to all those in the description, as well as the link, of course, to the Fantasy Football Fix Awards voting. Don't forget that voting closes this Saturday at 11:30. This Saturday, 11:30, that's when the voting closes. But until next week, good luck to all you managers out there for game week 37. Like Adrian said to Rocky in Rocky 2, there's just one thing I want you to do for me. Win.
Win. What are we waiting for? Take this!